Apple versus Epic Part 3. And I do think like we're probably not going to have much more news on this for a while.
You
But yeah,
say
there's
that.
there's
You
this.
say that. I reckon it'll be here next week.
Oh, I don't think there's anything happening in court in the next few weeks. So just an update from last time. As we sort of said originally, Epic had pushed an update to Fortnite, which completely violated, and I think everyone agrees, completely violated the App Store guidelines and also the Google Play guidelines. But, Apple's the big kind of ticket of the story. So then Apple booted off Fortnite. Epic retaliated and sort of said, hey, we're going to take you to court about this. They had the whole parody video around free Fortnite. Apple then struck back even further and actually said, okay, well, we're going to remove all of your access to iOS. So as we know, Epic not only have Fortnite, and they also have Psyonix, which make Rocket League, one of the best games ever, in their umbrella, and the Epic Game Store. But they also do the Unreal Engine, which is probably the big thing that they've done in the last 20 years that really pushed them forward. And, basically they were saying, okay, we're going to remove your developer access. They weren't going to be able to update any sort of Unreal Engine associated iOS things, and it was going to cause massive havoc. So they went for an emergency restraining order against Apple. They actually did win that. So there's a couple of things that happen. There's two basically court cases that are happening at the moment. One is around, can they basically do a different payment service, as they call it? And the second one is, can they get access back to the App Store so that they can update Unreal Engine for other developers? So the judge said, it is going to cause too much harm to third parties. So they certainly don't believe it's fair what Apple's done in the initial kind of restraining order. That doesn't mean the case is closed. So that will be a court case that they'll have about that, around can Epic maintain their access to the developer tools from Apple. And then on the other side of the fence is like, they wanted a restraining order against Apple to put Fortnite back up. And the judge basically said, well, you've created this own situation. You were happy to sort of put the game up there in the initial case with this sort of setup, and you can't expect Apple to do it for free. So, the initial sort of response was to deny the restraining order. So Fortnite is off the App Store. And then, we also had Microsoft coming in and filing. So they had one of the GMs, a very senior role in Microsoft in the Xbox team, coming in and supporting Epic, like directly, and then also supporting the Unreal Engine. So you're getting another party involved in this, which is pretty wild. And then finally, like just happened actually today as we're recording, that Apple has terminated Epic Games' developer account. So that means that's their publishing account. So anything they've published, so Fortnite, which was already booted off, but it also means Infinity Blade, which is a game that I actually own. Now I can't even download it. So it's off the iOS store completely. And then, they've confirmed that Epic, with the new Fortnite seasons that are coming out, people who are playing on iOS will not get the season, like the updates to the season pass or anything like that. And then just the last thing I wanted to mention, which I thought was very epic and very Tim Sweeney, that they snuck in an update, and this was a maintenance update, so it's only really meant to be, for changes that, are not like very obvious. In a maintenance update, they snuck in the Tart Tycoon, which is the character that's trying to sort of say the evil tycoon, which is Apple, and they've called it the Tart Tycoon. They've snuck it into the iOS release of Fortnite with the last update that they could do to Fortnite itself, which is a big FU to Apple. This case has got massive legs. It's probably going to be decided next year or even the year after. And it's going to have huge ramifications on what happens. And I still don't really think that Epic will win the case. And I think their case against Google is going to be way more compelling because, Google has kind of gone out and said, yes, it's an open marketplace and architecture. And then they've forced manufacturers to back off deals that they've done with Epic directly. So I think they're in real trouble from my perspective, reading up about it and reading through the filings on the Google side and not so much on the Apple side. But it's going to be interesting. People are going to get new iPhones, new iPads, kids, all this stuff in the holiday season. They will not be able to get Fortnite on the new phones. That's the way that it works on Apple. Do you have any thoughts on it? Or are you just over this case that I love talking about?
I've got three letters. ESH. So if you've ever
What does that
seen
stand for?
this, if you've ever seen the subreddit "Am I the asshole" on Reddit, one of the
Yeah, I love that.
one of the responses people can put is ESH, which is
I haven't
everyone,
seen that one.
everyone sucks here.
Yeah.
So I'm just, look, if I'm gonna take any side on this, then Epic are trying to push for changes that seem like they're going to be beneficial to developers and consumers, but I just, man, I'm interested to see the outcome of this. I'm kind of over the little niggling bits of how it's all going myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and yeah. It's a big game of poker, really, that they're playing with each other, and they're both parties are losing a lot of money right now. But I think ultimately, yeah, Epic is really trying to drive down ultimately just this 30% to a more quote unquote reasonable number. And I must admit, 30% does seem insane. That Apple, Google, Nintendo, PlayStation. I mean, on the consoles, and even Tim Sweeney has said this himself, on the consoles, given that they often sell the consoles at almost like no profit just to get people on that whole architecture and then make their money on the actual, the games that are sold on the console. I kind of get it a bit more. But with Apple, I mean, they're selling their phones at a profit, a big profit as well, So yeah, 30% just seems really crazy on like an in-app purchase that from a marginal cost perspective is basically zero. So it's completely free money for them. So, but yeah, we'll see how the case goes.